So the question was around what are the challenges around peacekeeping and the link with 1820 and 1325, and how women's groups can become more involved in this process. One of the key challenges is actually understanding the full dimension of peacekeeping, how they operate, the range from military, police to civilian, and the different entry points into peacekeeping missions. They tend to be these huge organisations that are slowly evolving, but it's always hard to penetrate and understand how to make the changes within these organisations. In many countries, over 20 countries, they are the key protection units. So if you think about Monook in the DRC, the national government does not have the capacity, so people look towards peacekeeping missions to perform protection functions, to protect them against gender-based violence, to protect the refugee camps and IDP camps. So there's a huge plethora of functions that the peacekeeping mission performs. In terms of access for local NGOs, there are a multitude of entry points. One of the areas that peacekeeping missions are more involved with more recently is in terms of training of the national infrastructure, the security infrastructure, particularly the police. And we've seen that that's an area that's opening up more. There's more scope for change. More women are participating in the police force. There is more room to advocate for not only participation, but how to train units to undertake community policing, to practice protection of women, interviewing women in terms of addressing gender-based violence, training their own personnel. There are entry points around different ministries in the country, and using advocacy at the ministry level and then working that up in towards the UN, the Security Council, in terms of the language and mandates, the type of information that's data collection and all those type of issues that peacekeeping missions are involved with. Other entry points is how to strengthen gender focal points within these missions. How do we make them more high level? How do we make them have more decision-making functionalities? And how do we influence this process? It involves more women's networks and groups to really address issues of obviously the masculinity and patriarchal system that is the military, but also to understand that peacekeeping is just beyond military. It's about protection, prevention, and also elements of prosecution.